The last couple years have taught me a lot. Um, I've never been in such a place where I felt so vulnerable, so at my rock bottom almost. You know, with me losing my job, with me losing my mom in 2024, and I know it's 2026 now, and it just seemed like it was just yesterday when all that happened. You know, I'm still picking things up. You know, I'm still picking my life up, getting back together. But it allowed me to see a lot. It allowed me to know how it feels when you need help. You know, it allowed me to know how it feels when someone is grieving. You know, give people space until they're ready to talk, or help people when they're down, when they need help. Because I was there. I'm saying all that to say that I was out the other day, and I was going into one of the shopping centers, and this guy was outside, and he was just sitting down. You know, it's hot outside. You know, it's hot here in Vegas, and he was just sitting there in the heat. I mean, sweat just pouring down. And you know, I was just watching people go in and out, and he ain't saying nothing to nobody. But when I get up to the door, you know, we kind of lock, you know, eyes. And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he gets up and he's like, "Can you help me?" You know, he was like, "Can you help me?" And I was like, "Help you with what?" I was like, I don't have any, you know, I don't keep any cash on me. I don't have any cash, any money on me." He was like, "I don't need cash." He was like, what about, can you give me some deodorant, soap, and maybe some lotion? So when when I'm able to take a shower, you know, I can, you know, use the hygiene to help me out. And I was like, oh man, like, I was like, let me see what I can do. And so he went back over there in the corner, and so without a doubt, I start looking for deodorant, looking for lotion, you know, looking for all type of hygiene, you know, for guys, and I'm like, man, this is crazy, you know. I didn't think twice that I know that I was about to help this guy, because I know how it feels to need help. I know how it feels to be in a place where you don't have the small things, deodorant, soap, lotion. You know, he wasn't asking for money. You know, he was asking for personal hygiene products. I got, you know, I got back outside, and it was funny because the police was outside. So as I was looking for these items, you know, to get this for this guy, I noticed the police going outside. So I'm not sure what happened, but when I went back outside, he was gone. And I was looking everywhere. You know, I looked around the building. You know, I looked down the street. I even drove around the corner just to see if I saw him. You know, but he was nowhere to be found. So I'm like, man, maybe the police, you know, pushed him away. And I just immediately felt bad, and I was just hoping that, you know, someone else had, you know, would be able to help. And I just said a prayer for him. And you know, I don't know if it was because, you know, when we saw each other, you know, we kind of, you know, we gave each other that look, and he was like, you know, maybe I know he'll help me. I know he'll help me. Man, hey, it's okay. Help your brothers, man. Help your brothers. A lot of us are out here struggling and just don't know how to ask and don't know what to do. But sometimes God puts you in the right place to lend a helping hand. And I think God put me there to see if I was going to do it. And there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to do it. And I just know that if anybody comes across my path that needs help and I can do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I encourage you all to do it as well, because if you have not ever been there, buckle up, because your time is coming. You may not think you may need help because you have everything going on, but you know what? Never say never. Never say never. And never turn your nose up at someone else that needs help. Never say that you will never be in that position. I used to ask myself, how do they allow themselves to do that, to be that low in life right now? How do they allow themselves to do that? Easy. It's not that hard. You lose your job just like that. I encourage you all to lend a helping hand, if you can, to someone that you know needs the help. And not everybody can pay you back. And that's the true test. Will you help someone that can't pay you back? It shows who you are. It shows how far you've come. And it just opens the door to maybe blessings and opportunities for you. So stay encouraged, everybody. Help somebody in need. All right, have a good one.